up, brother?
Hello?
Very good. Very good. Oh, well, thanks for making your way down to Academy,
Yeah, mate.
jumping on the pod.
We're on.
Do you want to tell everyone who you are and what you do?
I'm Duncan. Oh, I'll start again.
That's right.
I'm Duncan Wood. I have a company called BOOMFA Vintage. We specialise in rugby apparel. Started off doing vintage, that's kind of the main shtick, and then branching out into retail stuff as well. So the kind of new dynasty and classic sportswear stuff from Super Rugby and the Warriors. So, been going for 4 years now, and brings me here to Grey Lynn.
Here we are, the big Grey Lynn. I mean, people would have seen you on some stuff recently, eh? What have you been up to recently? You're on, you're on Sean Johnson's show?
I wasn't on it. I was actually
okay.
just in the studio audience, but we'll say that I was on it.
Yeah.
I was just in. They have like a live audience every week, so I popped down for that.
Yeah.
But I have done some work with Sky Sport. I've been on the TV one time doing the Aotearoa Rugby Pod with Ross Carl and James Parsons and Brent Hall. Great lads. That we were talking about the Marvel Super Rugby jerseys that came out.
Oh, yeah, nice.
The
Super.
controversial Marvel jerseys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing a bit more work with them on the media side and it's like purely social media stuff.
Yeah.
So bit of like a weekly wrap called Extra Time.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that's a collab with Sky Sport, but you deliver it through socials on your account and tag them.
I'm basically just like paid talent for them for that.
Yeah.
So it's not actually associated with BOOMFA. That's like
really?
associated with Duncan.
Hey,
But
true.
because I have all these jerseys, I kind of like swap the jerseys in and out while I'm shooting. So if I'm talking about the Wallabies, I'll wear a Wallabies jerseys and it looks kind of good for the cuts.
Perfect.
But yeah, that's been an interesting kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Transformation this year, or a new kind of avenue for me. Like there's BOOMFA and vintage jerseys and content around that. And then there's kind of Duncan and like sports media.
As a content creator.
As a content creator and kind of now as like a contractor for Sky.
So
I'm interested to see where that goes like next year and kind of beyond that, you know?
Well, it's cool because you've got the business there that it can feed into.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely a really nice strategy where you have, I mean, whether it's like completely you meant to do it or not, it's like you have that business there and then you can do all these adjacent things that build the brand to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to scream, hey, go to my website.
Yeah.
You know? So how did you get into selling rugby jerseys? Like what was the little seed that it started from? Or
I think just passion really. And yeah, I mean like a lot of Kiwi men and women. I've been watching the All Blacks and the Crusaders. I'm from Greymouth since I was like 4 years old. Played rugby all my life. So I was just like super passionate about the game. And then as I got older, I was really interested in the drops like every year.
Right.
I've never been into fashion that much until recently, but just always would hang out for like when they released the Super Rugby jerseys or especially Super Rugby. Like I remember waiting for like the Crusaders to announce their new jersey and being really excited whenever it came out. And then as I got older, like realizing that the stuff that I watched when I was a kid was now kind of hard to find. So I would go on Trade Me and try to find them, and then got interested in it. I found this community on Instagram that was like the vintage rugby jersey community. So I started following all these pages like New Zealand Jersey Hunter, and there's like loads of really passionate fans who put their collections on Instagram. And so there's kind of like a resale community there, and I couldn't afford much of it because I was like 17, 18, like kind of at uni, just battling away, but was really interested in it and started to learn a bit from them. And then as I got a bit older, did a bit of traveling, came back, and then, you know, listening to a few podcasts of like, you got to start a side hustle and, you know, all that. And so I was thinking like, what could a side hustle be? And I was like, you know, a few vintage rugby jerseys on the side, use my sales skills because I worked in corporate sales out of uni. I was like, there's a good little, icky guy, like a cross of kind of your interest and your skills. So I was like, I'll give it a crack, and just made BOOMFA kind of in my shared flat in 2021 in Christchurch, just like doing it on the floor, had like a little bag in the cupboard that would hold the stock like this big, and maybe have like 6 or 7 jerseys in at any one time, because that's pretty much how much I could like afford to hold at the time. And then, yeah, just got started that way.
So no, obviously no big bank loan or anything, just starting it from those first few and building. It's very Gary V.
Yeah, just kind of start with what you have, start small. It's good. I think the good thing about starting super small is there was never any massive risk, because I was doing it with like, it was just basically the money that I could save from my 9-to-5 job. And then I was putting as much time as allowed, kind of like an hour in the evenings, just like photographing the jerseys or looking for new ones online. And it allows you to kind of get good at like the core skills that you need to get good at while the stakes aren't too high. You know, like if you're scrambling to learn how to market your product and you've got debt, you know, you've got like bills coming in every day for ads and for, I don't know, marketing services and for career costs and whatever, it's like a bit stressful. Whereas when you're just like, okay, I've paid for everything I've got here, I've paid for, there's no real risk, and I'm just learning how to do this. It's quite, takes the pressure off a bit, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, Margo.
There's the dog, come and say hello.
Come and say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you sell those first few before you got the website up? Like, was it just like, oh, well, I can go through Trade Me again or Facebook Marketplace, I'll buy them for this, sell them for this? Or did you kind of go, no, I need a website? Or how did you kind of just get started in those first few? Or were they handshake deals in the school lunch yard?
It was all on Instagram. So Trade Me used to be amazing. Trade Me now is filled with like new products, and they've upped the fees massively. Like I remember when I was a kid, the fees were like 3%. Now it's 8%, I think. Yeah, it's crazy. So if you're selling something for $200, like there's $16 gone, you know? So the plan was always to like grow on Instagram and do it so I just did it over DMs. And I would definitely sell a few like my teammates and stuff. Like they'd tell me like, oh bro, if you can find like a Penrith Panthers jersey or a New South Wales Blues jersey, like, because I was playing rugby at the time. So my first sale, I think my first sale was to one of my teammates, Jay. Shout out if you're watching Jay. Sold him a New South Wales Blues jersey.
Cool.
But I would just literally post carousels. So like take nice photos of the jerseys. It was I was not on the page, just about the jerseys. And at that time you could grow pretty well on social media with just carousel posts, as long as people were like flicking through them and sharing them with each other. It was like kind of pre-reels. So yeah, just with carousels, with no brand logo, with no like content, essentially just the content being photos of the jerseys. I think the page grew to like 3,000 or 4,000 followers. So it was kind of to the point where I could put, if it was a good jersey with very little promotion, I could just post it up. And if it was priced correctly, it would sell. And I started building like a back catalogue in my highlights page. Like you have the little tab that you can like go on your story highlights. So I would put all the available ones in there, so people could like now start to come on, visit the page and then browse through the stuff that was still available. And then that was at the point when I was like, okay, I can see the value in a website, because I'm getting a lot of people who are like just hopping on and looking at everything in the highlights page.
Oh, because you can see, yeah. And the numbers just build on that highlights thing.
Yeah,
right?
so my highlights,
all-time views, right?
You know how like when you have a highlights thing on Instagram, it's got like the bar is how big. You know, if there's 3 in the highlights, it'll be like a third of the top. It's getting to the point where there are like a million little dots up top, because I might have like 30 in stock. You know? So I was like, okay, it's getting really difficult for people to look through the catalogue now. It's getting harder for them to buy. So I looked into a website, and the upfront costs were like, oh, should I do this? Is it worth it? But then as soon as I made my Shopify store, it was actually the time, like of course there's fees, you've got to pay for your subscription, you've got to pay for credit card fees, so it's like kind of 3-4% on every sale. But the amount of time that you save if you're selling via Instagram through the DMs, you got to be like, hey bro, so when are you going to pay for that? Like, and then they say like, oh no, I'm good. And then you lose that sale, and the other guy who was interested is no longer interested because he found one on Trade Me. So I was like, okay. Like it was so worth making the jump.
How long were you running the DMs for? Because I know a guy that's Bailey. He's running these cool ties he's making. He's doing the DMs now. So and I'm like, good on you.
Is that Big Cozy?
Yeah. They're so sick. And you know, I think it's
All the American sports teams, eh?
yeah,
Yeah.
the baseball.
Yeah, I've met Bailey before.
Yeah, I just love. I love that whole just like, oh, let's just get it to let's get it to the customer. Whereas you see, and I'm guilty of this, and I see a lot of people do it. Like you get really caught up in the administrative side.
Yeah.
And the zero and all of this because for some people that's the most fascinating element of it. Mm-hmm. Whereas you and Bailey and others, it's the product, which is beautiful because you can work the administrative side out later.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so I love the start on the DMs. Like it's such a good starter.
But you also, I think what happened was because it is less personal now, for better or for worse. Like people just buy stuff, and I'll see their name pop up like multiple times. They're like, you know, Dan, legend. But I've never actually had a conversation with them. Whereas a lot of the people who have followed me since day one, like I've actually messaged them in the DMs. I've asked them or they've told me what jerseys they're looking for. I know that they live like in the Mount, or that they're from like Oamaru, or they play for, you know, this rugby club, or their dad was an All Black, or you know. So you've had these little conversations. So it's a really good foundational thing to like. And I guess they go and they feel a bit more connected, so they'll go and tell all their mates, like, oh, you know, if someone's wearing a jersey like this at the bar, you'll be like, where'd you get that, bro? And they're like, oh, I got it from this guy, BOOMFA. You know, I was based in Christchurch at the time, and, you know, plays for Burnside and blah, 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 blah. So they feel like quite connected, whereas it's just a website can be a little bit more impersonal.
Yeah, I suppose with you though, like no one's going to that website without going through your Instagram. And I feel like before I knew you, I knew you.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah, 100%.
People like come up to you in the street and they're like, oh, look, you don't know me, but I feel like I know you because you post so much good video content.
Oh, and you just get people who don't even say that part, and it's like, sup, Duncan? And you're like, hey.
You're like, whoa, we're far out.
Yeah, you got to try and remember though, like when you do put a lot of yourself online, that you know people are going to feel like that, and that's cool.
It's cool. Imagine being like Jeremy Wells, or
I know.
You know, someone who's been doing it for 30 years, 20 years, like.
Yeah, I met Matt Heath. He lives down the street from me.
Oh, legend.
So I met him walking his dog, and you could tell that he was very well accustomed to like that interaction.
Yeah.
It was like kind of before I met him. Like,
what's his dog's name? Dennis or something?
It's Colin.
Colin,
I think it's Colin. But he's very good at having those conversations and making you feel like you must have had 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 of these conversations, but he still makes you feel like his mate. Yeah. So I was like, when I had that conversation with him, I was like, that's a little nugget for me to take away next time I... Yeah. Because often at a game, you know, like, that's when I'll see he's like, yo, BOOMFA, what's up, man? And that's true. Like, you're in your environment, they're in their environment, and it's like a good time to interact. But, you know, anyone watching this, if you do bump into me, come say hi, it's cool. Like, don't be shy. I love chatting. And it's really, I don't know, it's quite, it's a privilege to have people who are like, such big fans and like support me to do this thing, and has, like, without being too cheesy, has made a lot of my dreams come true. Yeah, so, well,
you're selling vintage rugby jerseys full time. How sick.
Yeah. I mean, it's given me like
so cool,
freedom. It's given me opportunities. Yeah. Like I went to State of Origin this year on like a content trip. Yeah. Went to the Lions tour this year. Like that's kind of stuff I would have like taken annual leave for and paid to go out of pocket for back in the day, whereas now it's like legitimately I can go over there on like a business trip and like film and just talk to fans like that. So I never take it for granted if someone comes up and says hi. I always like I'm so happy to. So if you're listening, it's all good. Come say hi if you see me at a Wires game. I'll be there tonight.
This will come out in about a month.
Yeah. Hopefully we're still in the comp when it comes out.
What do you think the score's going to be? Let's just get it down here and then.
Eels Warriors tonight at Mount Smart. It's going to be tight. Eels are, they're scrappy.
Slimy buggers, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're out of contention, but they've still got something to prove, you know. And we're quite depleted, but I think the boys are going to show some resilience. I think we're going to bring it home by 2. I'll go 22-18.
Okay, well, we'll time code this and put it up in a month, see how close you were.
Absolutely.
But on that sort of media note, like, because it's pretty cool that you started as, like, here's the product, faceless, bang. But anyone who's followed you for a while can quite see now that you really are, you know, a broadcaster in a sense, you know. You make really good video content daily. I mean, that's all your advertising, essentially. Yeah. You've built the business off organic, which is beautiful. And you've got some skills now, clearly. and that's been picked up by Sky Sport to do the wrap-up thing, and that's just going to keep rolling. Who are some of the Kiwi broadcasters that you've looked up to in the past? Is it Matt Heath, or is it,
That's a good question. I think Sean Johnson now, I mean, he's been in the media for long. I think he does an amazing job. I think he's part of this new wave of people who grew up with social media who are now like retiring from the sport. So they're bringing like because a lot of players in the past, amazing technical knowledge. I'm thinking like Darren Lockyer in rugby league, amazing knowledge of the game, but would never have grown up doing content. Right, so when he came out of league, he had all this knowledge, but he was quite fresh and had his voice. And I don't know. He's great now, but when he came out, there was a kind of gap. Whereas Sean Johnson has been doing promos his whole life. He's probably like built a big following on Instagram, and just grown up watching content. So now we've got this new wave of like ex-players who have all this amazing game knowledge and lived experience, and then they also have this like. Social media experience, and they're bringing that into the mainstream, which is cool to see. And then
it's like social rizz, instead of sort of like broadcasting, like the greats sort of have been doing it for a long time. I think what you see is Sean,
like Nisbo.
Yeah, it's charismatic.
Love Nisbo, but he's like
it's a different era.
Yeah, he's a broadcaster. He's not a social media personality, whereas Sean Johnson's kind of mixing the two, which is cool to see.
Yeah, that's true. Blurs the lines.
My style is so different to someone who goes to broadcasting school and learns how to be on the news, It's way more fast and loose and like not as polished, and that's the way social media is. But who else? It's a good question.
Could be comedians or whatnot.
Yeah.
Or was that not really on your radar? Like, I mean, have you sort of started paying attention to those characters a bit more now that you're doing a lot of it, or?
Well, I'll give you my best mates in broadcasting from high school. So Mitch McCann.
Oh yeah.
He's very much in a different. He's not in sports. But no, I mean I've watched his journey from when he was like 18.
Did he go to CPIT?
He did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, back when it was CPIT.
I was going to go there.
Yeah. So he did the broadcasting school. He worked at TV3 before it was like 3 News is no longer, and he's now in New York doing broadcasting over there. So I've been like alongside him for that journey, which has been cool to watch. So definitely looked up to him, and he's probably inspired like a bit of the path that I've taken. But I also love Guy Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Guy Williams is crack out. Not to say that I don't think I'd take much of his like style into my content, but I don't know. There's no one who I'm like, man, I really aspire to be like that.
Yeah.
I've definitely just done what I felt like in terms of BOOMFA, and then that's led to this. It wasn't something that I aimed for. It's just it's something that's become like more of a dream as it's like developed, but it's never something that I started and was like, I want to be a broadcaster, you know? And I want to be like
this guy.
Sure,
No, well, that's why I find it fascinating, because you've actually fallen into a role that totally suits you, but you've obviously put in reps. Like, what's your philosophy around that? Like putting in the reps to get good at something? Because you can kind of see that with the jerseys, the content, and you are a footy player, rugby player, and we'll get into that. What's in your mind around how do you apply that philosophy to, I don't know, everything? Like, are you a reps guy? Or what do you tell yourself?
No, I think I'm a reps guy. I was a kicker, goal kicker, and I think Dan Carter in like his 2004 kind of promo video for the All Blacks was like, and any kids out there, just remember the 3 golden rules: practice, practice, practice. And so I would go down to Rugby Park in Greymouth, now John Sturgeon Park, and take my little bag of balls. I had like 10 balls that Mum and Dad bought me, and just like kick in the rain, kick in the sun, kick in the summer, kick in the winter, just any time, kick in the dark. So kind of taking that philosophy into this. And I think, even when I started BOOMFA and not doing like the media side, it was just like, get as many posts up as I can, buy as many jerseys as I can, get practice. And then since I started doing the social media stuff, it was just as much as I could because I was working full time, so there's as much as I could handle without like burning myself out kind of thing. I kind of aimed for like 2 a week.
Yep.
And now that I'm doing it full time, I try and do 5 to 6 content pieces a week.
Wow.
And I'm putting more structure around that now. It was real fast and loose, even at the start of this year. And then just with the other as other parts of the business grow, like the sourcing side, you need to process more. You need to allocate more time to like back end, you know, like sprucing up the website and all that. So yeah, I've started to be more conscious around like, all right, I do a meme carousel on a Friday.
Yep.
That's like quite easy content. You just have to think of it. You don't have to like actually perform it and edit it.
End of the week is quite tiring.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So if I can get that done on Wednesday, great, and then it's done, it's scheduled. And I try and have like one piece of like deep dive a week into something, because they're often like really high performing and get followers.
That's cool, yeah.
I don't often stick to that, but you know, you might have seen like the Temex video that I'm running some ads on at the moment.
Yeah.
That picked up heaps of followers.
Such a cool.
It's like educational, informative, and people like share it around, and then like, oh yeah, that's actually valuable. So yeah, I guess one piece of advice for anyone looking to make content: provide value for free, and you'll get like rewards back in other ways. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, try and do like one educational piece, and then like any news that pops up. So it could be like a team naming or a signing. You know, like if you can get in there within the hour, like it's always gonna, you know, because there are people who are on their breaks, people. You know, who work a full shift and then only get on their phone like 3 or 4 hours later. So if you can be at the top of the trending list for that piece of information, you know, like I remember Adi or Ngāti Lau Mape signing for Moana Pasifika, you know, like just bang, half an hour later, real crusty video, like nothing fancy, just like literally say the news, present it enthusiastically and like slap it together and get it up there quickly, and that can be like good traction. For me, that's about rugby, and for you, that might be something else, you know?
Well, that's, yeah, because I mean, that would be a cool one for us to do as well, whether it's, I mean, I don't want to do broadcasting around Instagram changes, but cool brands doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'd like to do more of that now that we've, you know, kind of going more full time on this. Yeah,
for sure. I think, branding is like heaps of cool brand. You can just do a deep dive on like, I follow one guy called Jack Dyson who's got a cool cool thing called Open All Hours, and they'll just like deep dive into like Range Rover did a cool subtle campaign. Rebrand.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It wasn't like a new car, it was just like new iconography, and they just did like a long carousel like explaining the reasons behind it and how it could be applied.
Yeah.
And kind of like you did with the Blue Berets, you know. Like, that wasn't a real it was like you made the concept, wasn't news, but it was still interesting and like debatable.
Yeah, debatable, some found. Yeah. For sure.
To your point about reps, social media is all about reps.
Yeah.
Because you've got to get better at your craft. And I think everyone's first piece of content that pops off, and that can be different for everyone. That could be getting your first 100 likes, could be getting your first like 10 followers off a post, and it's all relative. And that can be really valuable for a business that has like high value products. So it's not so much about how many likes, it's different for everyone, but you only find what works, and it's often like accidentally. And you're like, why did that work?
Well,
like the Temex video, I don't know why it popped off when it did, and then I look back and I'm like, okay, it was a really good hook.
Yeah,
that's the first thing, you get the attention, and then there was immediate like information about what this was about. So people they're hooked and they're like, oh, I am interested in this, and then it was informative. So once you got those 3 things and you put them back to back, that's when you get a video that pops off. Yeah,
and sometimes it's even that semi-instinctual, like you know you have to do a hook, but or whatever, and you do one, it's like poof. I mean, that was our first video that went hard, the Blue Berets. And that actually was, I was like, oh, okay. You know, our business is a service-based agency. So if we get leads, it's you know, requires a lot of work. So I was like, let's start to look at something for the masses. So that's why we're doing in-house like education platform. People can go and self-service, awesome. But I haven't made any in a while because I've had to get that up, and I mean, that one was a year worth of ideas, you know? I was like, shit, how am I going to do that again?
You can repost stuff as well, though.
Oh, who says I haven't?
Yeah.
No, we have.
post it again, change something slightly, you know, like...
Yeah. No, totally. We've reposted them a few times on trials and TikTok.
Yeah.
And funny thing is, it's really cool on TikTok. The one that's going hard now is the Big Ben pies, the one that Zoe did, and this other one. So
Epic.
I can't wait to get back into those. I want to do some Aussie brands
Yeah.
and some classics like tomato sauce.
Yeah.
You know, it's the ones like Marmite or things like that everyone's got an opinion on, you know. And weirdly, the rugby ones go really well in the off season when they haven't had rugby communications for a while, or rugby media.
Yeah.
Everyone hones in on it because they've got their opinion on that.
I think that's why jerseys go so well, because everyone has an opinion, you know. When this jersey came out, everyone thought it was terrible. Well, not everyone, but it was quite a lot of criticism. Now everyone's like, that's sick.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
When that jersey came out, everyone loved it.
Yeah, I love it.
But, you know,
it's
people
so
love
cool.
to say, like, oh, I love it, or oh, I really don't like it, or I like it, but that one was better.
Yeah.
So it drives good engagement.
Yeah.
But one other thing for anyone who's doing content, make sure you get on all the platforms early.
Right.
It took me like 2 years to get on TikTok, like after I was making reels. I hate to think how much growth I would have had if I just did, because it takes 5 more minutes to just like take the piece of content that you made and then post it on TikTok. But it's so worth it.
Yeah.
Because you just get exposure to two completely different, and like cross-posting to Facebook as well, different demographics.
Totally, eh?
So like your Facebook, you're hitting the people kind of 30 plus, maybe even like 35 plus. Instagram, you're hitting those like 25 to 40s, and then below 25s, you're all on TikTok. So you gotta post on everything. Even YouTube Shorts now, I'm guilty of not posting on there heaps, but I'm like starting to get into it, and it's definitely like you get some views because they're trying to really push that at the moment. So do your reps, post on all platforms is the like, because you'll learn all the stuff by doing the reps.
Yeah, yeah.
You learn what works, and then you'll make the most of your limited time and resource by posting across everything.
Yeah, we use an app, Latergram, and you just drop it in and go post.
True.
Yeah, bro, change your life. Well, because when you're running 10 clients' socials at once, you can't be manually scheduling or whatever. So
I might need to look at that.
Yeah.
I wonder if that affects your like your reach on some.
So we thought so, but then when you post something that's actually good, it
pops off on everything.
Yeah, so it's totally the content. There aren't things that there aren't the little backdoor things that are damaging it. I think most of those are people who aren't making good content.
As content creators, it's nice to be like, oh, the algorithm pushed that down.
Yeah.
Which it does sometimes.
Tradesmen blaming the tools.
Yeah,
but you can post again.
Well, I had something that got 1 million views on Meta. It was like it was like a meme. It was just like I was at State of Origin, and this Queensland fan like just like giving a bird to all the New South Wales Homes fans. 250 views on TikTok. So obviously like suppressed it because it picked up that it was on Instagram or something.
God knows. But getting out of that little area is harder. So, bro, tell me, I want to go back to your early life.
Yeah.
Where were you born? Where did you grow up? Greymouth, West Coast?
I was born in South Africa, but I moved to Greymouth when I was 4. So it was like, I'm a coaster at heart, you know?
Yeah.
I support the All Blacks. I've got the passport, but I haven't lived in South Africa any part of my like kind of conscious memory. West Coaster, mum and dad, still there. Don't get back there as often as I'd like to now, but maybe once a year kind of thing, once or twice a year.
Yeah.
It was more when I was living in Christchurch, but obviously it's like a bit further now, being based up here in Auckland. So yeah, it's a great place to grow up, man. It's awesome. Like if you haven't been to the West Coast, you got to visit. It's so beautiful. Obviously you get a lot of rain, but I don't know. You don't go to a rainforest and not expect to see a bit of rain. So just go and embrace it. Go get outside, do the outdoor trails.
Yeah.
I was able to play every sport under the sun because no traffic, really good community.
Yeah.
You're right by the coast. Town of like 10,000 people kind of thing. 8 to 10, not 18.
Yeah.
Small town. But yeah, cool place to grow up, eh?
Oh, that's epic, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Because I mean, in the media we hear about the mining and the rain.
Yeah.
And I've driven from Nelson down to the Fox Glacier and Franz and stuff, so we passed all
Top
through.
10 like most beautiful drives in the world.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Of course, I'm biased, but
It's it's like the old Pacific Coast Highway. But yeah,
Honestly,
it's pretty cool.
There's just no one. It's crazy. You drive for ages and there's be like 4 houses.
Yeah, it's
You know,
it's
like
looks like
Southwestern.
Scotland or something. You know what I mean?
It's like parts of. I reckon
It's
almost
all
like
like
being
lots
in,
of farm and then hills, but in coast right there.
It's almost like being in Hawaii or something.
Yeah, it is.
Except it's a bit colder.
Well, that's where they filmed the latest Chief of War. Not that west coast, the Auckland west coast,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it totally looks just
It's
like
wild. It's rugged. Get these huge storms rolling through.
Yeah.
I love the rain still. Just reminds me of being a kid on the coast.
I do when it comes through, not when it comes through the power sockets.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I think the cool thing was that I could just do everything because the town's so small. So I played like rugby league, soccer, badminton, tennis, cricket, hockey, basketball, like all the sports kind of arranged because the basketball team knows that if they make it at the same time as rugby, they're not going to get any players.
Oh, wow.
So everything's like a community. It's like you talk to each other and everyone like makes it work. So we play rugby union in the morning on Saturdays, rugby league in the afternoons, soccer was Sunday morning. So I could play all three and not miss a game.
I wonder where else in the world that's bloody done.
And you drive like 5 minutes between games because the town's so small. Unless you're playing in Hokitika and then you're like 25 minutes up the road, you know?
Bro, that is so cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they do it. I don't know if they still do it, but that's how it was when I was a kid. It was so cool.
So you'd play Union in the morning, 9 a.m, freezing on an old landfill, and then you'd go play league.
Yeah.
Where? Like, and how was your body? I suppose you're 10 years old.
10 years old. Yeah.
Funny.
You can be dropped off a bloody 2-story building, you'll bounce back up.
Yeah. What was I played a couple of seasons of league, but it was only for my college. But it's different crowds, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
I grew up in the league club room probably more than the union club room.
Yeah.
I was like the ball boy at Suburbs Rugby League Club. The Kiwis used to come and play, and like the Warriors.
Oh.
So I ball boyed like the Warriors when I was like 10 years old.
Bro, that was my
Kiwis.
dream.
A lot of it was for like they used to come just generally, but sometimes they came for like charity matches kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
For after like some of the mining disasters and stuff on the coast. I remember the Warriors came up to that.
Right.
I think I was a bit older then. But yeah, I mean, West Coast is like League Heartland, you know?
Oh, yeah, Heartland Cup. Is that you talking about that to me?
So that's Heartland Championship for rugby union.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
like in terms of the history of the West Coast, like it's a league powerhouse.
Really?
Yeah. Because of the coal mining. So all the people moved there from like the north of the UK.
Right.
Brought their rugby league roots. So like back in the 60s, 50s, 40s, like there'd always be like 2 or 3 coasters in the Kiwis team.
Right.
West Coast would beat like Auckland.
Wow.
Would beat Canterbury.
Was it the Orcas? I know that's Wellington, eh?
Tasman. Oh yeah, Wellington Orcas. Tasman Orcas.
Dolphins.
I can't remember.
What was it? That's really interesting because what's the origins of league was like classic because Union has got a snobbery there which exists and it can be a little bit frustrating. It's a little bit classist actually, you know, which definitely comes down from its roots in the UK. And
less so in New Zealand, I'd say.
Less so for sure,
but definitely back in the day.
Those guys you're saying why they started league was to get away from that classism and a bit more of a working man's game.
Well, it was payment, so you couldn't be paid to play rugby union. So they would expect these guys who work in the coal mines to go and play rugby union, go on a tour of New Zealand for 2 months on a ship, and no, you can't get paid. Whereas they had a family back home, they weren't rich, you know, they weren't landowners, they weren't gentry. So the coal, like the owners of the coal mines and the factories and all that, made the rugby league, which was a breakaway comp. And they're like, we're going to pay you, you know, what you're worth, and you can support your family and play rugby.
Wow.
The rugby league.
Brilliant. And then they were like, we don't need flankers.
Yeah. They're like, we're going to make it faster, we're going to make it more kind of spectator friendly and less kicking and all that. But there's a great book on it called The History, I think it's called like The People's History of Rugby League, written by Ryan Bodman. Came out like 2 years ago, really good read.
Oh, that sounds bloody awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, that makes sense. So then there's British leagueies, you know, they all wanted to go to the other side of the world for a better life. My grandparents were the same in the 50s.
Yeah.
As far away as possible.
Yeah.
And And then so they were like, boys, like you need to keep these young men doing something.
Yeah.
And there's community and whatnot. So they played
Moved to the
league.
West
So
Coast.
this little powerhouse of league in the West Coast. That's so cool.
It.
I love those odd stories.
But yeah, that's my kind of childhood, eh?
Yeah. And what brought your parents there?
South Africa.
Profession-wise or whatever.
More just like, there was the diaspora from South Africa, just safety, opportunity.
Yeah.
And my dad's a doctor, and at the time, I think there was a visa available for kind of rural placements.
Yeah.
So that's the reason they picked Greymouth, because it was kind of a requirement of the visa, and then they just loved it. I think at the time they wanted to make a go of it, but in their back pocket they were like, we can always move to the North Shore with all the other South Africans if we don't like this small town, and they just loved it. It's still there.
Oh, that's brilliant. It reminds me of
26 years later.
Yeah, cool. It reminds me of Doc Martin. I don't know.
Yeah, great show.
Little cottage and your dad's in there like, hello.
Yeah.
That's sick. And then, so there must be a close tie between living in Greymouth and Christchurch, is it?
Yeah.
I
went to high school in Christchurch. And
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to border across and...
Yeah.
Because I know my sort of now home base is Tauranga the Mount, and Auckland is the version of that.
Yeah.
You come up here a lot, or you come and do 5-10 years, but you gravitate back, you know? So what happened then? You Greymouth and then went to board in Christchurch.
That's right.
What was that like then going into a bigger city where it doesn't have the scheduled sports days and things like that, and meeting new friends? And
boarding school's so controlled. Like, you wake up at a certain time, go to breakfast at a certain time, you go to school, then you have practice, then you have dinner, and then you go to do your prep, and you go to bed, you know? So I was in the structure. I loved it.
Cool.
Took a little bit of adjusting because you're like 12 years old, you're away from mum and dad, a few tears when you start, and then you're all good. You meet your first friend and you're like, oh, you're out and away. Still mates with like a lot of those guys who I was in the boarding house with, because you're just living together for 5 years. And I loved it from like a sports perspective, because the coast, although you could do everything, like to specialise and to have competition, there's not many people. Whereas you go to Christchurch and like all of a sudden you're a big fish in a small pond. Now you're a small fish in a big pond. So you have to just grow and get better. And so I love that. And school was a good time. And then I went to the UK for a year. And then I came back to Otago, did an economics degree down there. Drank a lot of spates, had a good time, met some good friends. And then I went to Boston and played rugby over there for a couple of years.
Sick. Yeah, you'll show me some clips, we'll chuck some up. What was the change like playing rugby in the States? Were there other foreigners there as well?
So I did an exchange at Boston College. We had a couple of Irish guys.
Of course.
That was about it. Yeah, because they have because Boston College is a Jesuit school, so it's like a Catholic denomination.
Right.
So they would have like a kind of exchange for Irish kids.
Yeah.
But not heaps of foreigners in the college system, just basically exchange students. Standard was much lower than New Zealand, but it was a lot of fun, and we got to travel around. And then I went back after college for like 18 months and played for a senior team over there. So that was awesome. A lot of foreigners in the like senior.
Yeah, because they can give them a bit of coin and pay they put them in a flat, right?
Yeah, I got my board and my flights paid for, and then I got a job. So it's kind of like, we'll get you here, we'll get you set up, and then like we can't afford to pay you to play, but we've got a guy who has a company who needs work. Yeah. So I worked at a moving company.
They're like low key. Well, we'll just keep training and we'll keep.
Yeah, I was the fittest I've ever been.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, my Bronco was insane. Mate. It was like 430. It's just crushing it.
It's effort.
And I wasn't even like training that hard. It was just go to training twice a week and then work moving houses all day.
Yes.
You're so strong, man.
Yeah. At what age? 23?
22, yeah.
22.
I was still a pretty bad footy player, like mentally, but thought I was better than what I was probably.
Oh, right. But was there a clear different... I mean, has America evolved its own style yet? Because like I did a similar thing. I was 18, did a did a season of rugby in France, and it was similar. They paid for your board.
Yeah.
They did give us a job coaching under nines, so that kind of dropped off. And then you just had to like live off nothing, basically.
Yeah.
We were in a 3-bedroom house with 4-bedroom house with 8 boys, half of them French and 3 of us Kiwis. But they had this clearly different style.
Right.
And where we would go, cool, so they get a kick to us, we're going to go to the second 5, crash, we're going to go left-hand side, 1, 2, 3, and then just fang it right, or whatever.
Yeah.
New Zealand rugby is very like that. Like, we kind of have these, like, 10-phase moves.
Yeah.
France was the complete opposite. They don't have that.
Right.
At all.
They're just always looking for an opportunity.
They say, run to the line, spin, and offload. That's essentially their game plan, right? My coach used to, they would put me in first 5, which I disliked because I've never played first 5. I don't quite have that rapid fire brain. Yeah.
Right.
And he'd go, no, you're thinking about what you're doing too early. And I'm like, wow, okay, really interesting. He's like, I want you to hit the line, then think. And I'm like, wow, that's so not what you do in New Zealand. You'd get ripped a new one if you were just having a go all the time.
Stick to the system, bro.
Yeah, they have this thing called AXE, like AXE. X. And it's basically, I'm on your shoulder.
Right.
And so you'd be running, you'd hit the line, and they were so good at supporting.
Yeah.
I found it really hard to find that line and the distance to get that perfect offload. But these boys have been doing it since I was 5 years old.
Right.
And it took me probably 6 months, and I still don't think I am nearly as have got it as what they had. But this X, I didn't know what side I was going to run. And,
you just kind of leave the ball there, and you know someone's going to be there.
Yeah, and there's always, and their number 8s are so good at just, they hug the distance really well, and then boof, and they're through.
Right.
And so I really struggle, to be honest, to catch up with that gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, we did like run and tries in the first few games, me and this guy James Zeno and Tom Robertson, and it was cool. But then our style, we started to get shut down because they were like, get the Kiwis. And then I just tried to and then when I came back here, my defence was pretty low.
Yeah.
Because you could kind of get away with pulling with the jersey down.
Right,
You didn't have to commit.
No shoulders.
Yeah, so I was a bit of a weakling when I came back. But yeah, anyway, France is a bloody amazing rugby nation. They've had time to develop their style and stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you reckon America's going with their style? And is there a style?
I was there 10 years ago now. So 2017 I was playing. So 8 years ago. We had a New Zealander in the coaching setup. So we were very much, and like it was when pods was remember that 2015 World Cup, like first kind of, or 2011 to 2015, like that pod style was developing, and that was pretty new at the time, and just filtering down to that club level. So we were like running arrowhead formation like pod system across the field. Yeah. So it was like poorly executed New Zealand rugby at the time. You just get a lot of people, and it's not no fault of their own, just like we grow up with a rugby ball in hand. They grow up with a baseball, hockey stick, and a football.
They do.
So it's really hard. Like, they don't have that like instinctual like balance of like shoulders, hips with the ball, and like sleight of hand. So for how a New Zealand prop might just like whip it out the back, and American will it'd be quite obvious that they're doing it. Yeah. And then defensively, I found steps that I would put on in New Zealand and get smashed, I would slice through a gap there. Yeah. But and the other thing was like my kicking game was huge because they just like don't grow up kicking because like soccer's not big in America either. True. So having a big boot and having a tactical like brain for kicking was a huge asset. Yeah, awesome. So often their fullbacks would stand too shallow and you could just pack off meters over their heads.
So good.
So you just hoof it straight, but you know you're going to get over his head and he's going to have to run back and then you have time to chase. Yeah. Because
I was listening to a podcast, they were saying all the NFL punters, like heaps of Aussies.
Yeah, they are.
AFL Aussies. Yeah. Because they can punt, hey? Yeah. That's so crazy.
But I'd love to go back now and see, because MLR hadn't even started when I was over there. But it's a challenge, like, because rugby is such a instinctual and like you just learn, all the best players run off kind of intuition. Yeah. Like Dan Carter, he just knew what to do, when to do it.
Yeah.
Christian Cullen just like knew what line to run
Yeah.
without having to be told. And yeah.
It's when you're learning those things when your brain is plastic, you know,
Yeah.
they call it, and it just absorbs. Now, man, how clunky do you feel trying to pick up a new skill now?
eh?
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh
Yeah.
no. In terms of players who play instinctively, one that I've been just blown away by lately is Georgia Miller.
Oh, yeah. She's unreal, eh?
She is the epitome of instinctual, like, you know, when someone's coming to tackle you and you throw your legs out,
Yeah.
kind of, and you kind of have faith that they're going to find the ground again.
Yeah.
She does that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's such a pleasure. She's such a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
Like, she's just, yeah.
It's awesome to see like the long ponytail like whipping around as she steps, you know?
Yeah, and she's got the things. I love Ruben Love as well.
Yeah.
I always like to think that, that's the style of rugby I like to play.
Yeah,
As a
yeah.
fullback as well.
Yeah.
Was your main position was fullback?
Fullback.
Fullback.
I'd be pushed out into the wing if there was a better fullback, but I like to play fullback.
Low-key, I liked playing on the wing because it was just remove that pressure of receiving the kicks, and you could
Yeah.
just play, and you could hunt for, you could get into rucks if you
Yeah.
wanted to. If you're a high work rate, if you are a high work rate winger,
Yeah.
it's mean because you can play flanker.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
get like you see a few of the All Blacks doing it, getting in. It's like sick. Even now and then you haven't touched the ball for ages, so you just run into a ruck or try to jackal it out or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So what's the vision now for BOOMFA and Duncan Wood, the media personality? What are you thinking of doing over the next few years?
Yeah, it's kind of a hard one. I've been so busy this year that I've been like in the business, not kind of working on the business, as you say. But I think I'm at a stage now where I probably didn't realize the potential. I'm now starting to like grasp that and thinking of the next place to take it. So I found some really good suppliers for the vintage side of things. So that'll just increase, and I think working on back end stuff like the website, marketing side of things that you guys do really well. So, improving my email capture rate, so I can get those return customers coming back, just like continuing to build that brand, doing a bit of paid stuff in terms of like meta ads and Google Shopping and stuff. So that'll really improve my ability as a new clothing retailer as well. Because the vintage stuff, there's always going to be a market for. Like, you can't find it.
It's so cool.
When you can find it, but it's really difficult, and it's taken me many years to find suppliers.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you can buy this from Rebel Sport, you can buy it from, a bunch of competitors. So it's how to compete in that space, and that's where the marketing side really comes into it. And like, building that brand awareness of like BOOMFA does vintage, BOOMFA also does retail. So that's a real big focus for me over the next year. And then I would like to get into a little bit of hot off the press. I don't think I've said this online yet, but I'd like to get into a bit of like a BOOMFA line, and I don't know, of like my own branded clothing. So I don't know what.
Collab?
Potentially.
BOOMFA berets?
Yeah. The BOOMFA berets for the Blues, if you've seen that video. No, so I don't know. I don't quite know the shape of it yet, but I would love to get that over the line in the next like 6 to 12 months. Just kind of vibing off the vintage rugby look.
Yeah.
And making some really sick, fashionable apparel that everyday guys and women can get into. But I think, my following is 90% guys, and I think people really vibe with. It's a way to add a bit of colour into your wardrobe. We were talking about this earlier, but like a vintage rugby jersey might be bright yellow, and if you're someone who's at the pub, it's like it's a way to add a splash of colour, and that's kind of might fit within your social setting. In the rugby scene and stuff, like, I don't know, there aren't too many guys out there in flared jeans and like, big like crop t-shirts and like throwing fits down in, maybe Oamaru, Invercargill, Greymouth, like the Heartland rugby areas. So like vintage style is a cool way to do that. And so I think there's something to do that with my own brand stuff.
Yeah, no, I reckon that's a cool natural evolution.
Yeah.
Would you get someone else to design it? Or
I want input on it, but I'd want someone to help out. So anyone listening to this, if you're keen, give me a buzz. But yeah, you want to keep the essence of like what makes it BOOMFA, and that's where my input would come in. But then you also need the expertise of like, hey, this is where I would recommend you get it made. This is where, like, how much I would recommend you order. This is the sizing. This is the cut. That kind of stuff that would be valuable to me. And then on the media side of things, I just want to keep on doing what I'm doing, like pitch a few ambitious projects. Hopefully someone says yes, like All Blacks playing South Africa next year. I'd love to go there. I'd love to go to Argentina and do some rugby content. Japan's on my list in terms of like capturing that.
Artie will be back there.
That culture. Yeah, Artie will be there. He'll probably be tough to get FaceTime with, but some of like I've met Aaron Smith, I've met Oteri Black, I've met Artie as well, but
Oteri Black's over there, true.
Yeah, I think he's got one more season over there. On his contract. So yeah, just getting over there, if I get a bit of, even just like having a look around a Japanese rugby club, because it's so different in terms of their like company structure versus like how it's a club structure here in New Zealand. So I think it would be cool to take New Zealand rugby fans behind the scenes there in kind of a day or a weekend, game week in the life of a Japanese professional rugby player, like a Kiwi playing there.
It's like a full YouTube, it's sort of like a small TV show, eh?
Yeah.
Like doco style, I want to do more of that stuff.
YouTube's on the horizon, but I would need some like editors to come pick up that load a bit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of on there's lots of things that I have in mind, but just finding the time and the strategy to execute them is probably the challenge for me over the next 12 months.
Yeah, I was thinking because you got such an engaged community, like you could legit put it out to them to say, like, do you want to design a range? Whoever wins it, I'll give you $1,000.
Yeah, true.
Like, you would get such a cool variety. It's a privilege to be able to do that.
Yeah,
all these brands think they could do it, but people don't love them that much. But people would literally like stop a bus for you for this brand because they're so like into it. That could be something super cool you could do. Cortez.
Would they be able to stop the bus though, Julian Savia? Probably not.
So who's going to be? Is he going to be there next year?
Yeah.
He's going to be there.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
And we've got
Laumape.
Best. Oh, I'm going to go. I'm going to get a season pass.
Yeah, hell yeah.
For sure.
Get down to Moana.
Yeah.
My
all
second
right, bro.
team now.
Yeah, it is. I've got 3 teams.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got 3 horses in the race. Sweet, bro.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And super
I think
cool.
we chatted more footy than marketing then, but hey, hopefully you...
Oh, no, that's what it's all about, bro. Adjacency.
Yeah, exactly. But if you don't follow, find BOOMFA_vintage on Instagram, on all the other socials too. Check it out, boomfavintage.com.
Sweet. Do you want to press off on that one, bro? And I'll press off on this one.
Sure.
3.
Hold on, I'm not in place.
2. 1.
Off.